Despite having only sold one painting during his lifetime, Vincent Van Gogh has become one of the most celebrated artists in history. Now his masterworks come to life in a 20,000 square foot multimedia exhibit called Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience in Tampa. You can step into the Dutch artist's paintings as his most compelling works become 360-degree, two-story tall projections that dance to music. To learn how the artist's genius was brought to life in this unique style, we're joined by Zaller, executive producer of Exhibition Hub, the company that produced this experience. Welcome, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Sandra. Great to meet you and be here talking about Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience, soon to open in Tampa.
So it's been 135 years since Van Gogh passed away. What do you think it is about his life, his work, his story that has endeared him to fans for so long?
Well, Vincent Van Gogh has an incredible personal story that I think we all relate to. Someone who really struggled with wondering what his calling was, but ending up creating these incredible works of art. Also, his artwork is immortal. It creates incredible illustrative concepts that we can understand, but delivers them in an emotional way that we can also relate to. It's what gives his work this everlasting appeal to all of us around the world.
So, I mean, you could have chosen Monet or Matisse, but why did you think Van Gogh was the artist that you needed to focus on for an experience like this?
Well, we actually do have a Monet exhibition as well that's being very well received. But Van Gogh's work is the first immersive experience we ever created almost 10 years ago. And the reason we did that was because we wanted to bring this world to life using digital projections, making art more accessible to people. And Van Gogh's work with those thick brush strokes and all of that incredible color and structure that he has in it already lends itself so much to movement. So when we're animating a painting using digital animation techniques, we wanted to find the artist whose works most carried that movement in them, and that's certainly the work of Vincent Van Gogh.
So, this show was actually named the best immersive experience by USA Today. Tell me about the challenges of taking art and making it this multimedia experience. Like, how do you do it?
It is definitely a labor of love. It's certainly very intensive. We have over 400 works of Van Gogh's featured throughout the experience. So and the experience, the immersive experience is only a part of the overall experience. It's about 35 minutes long. So what we have to do is we have to storyboard out frame by frame what each of these paintings is going to represent throughout the storytelling of the immersive experience, which really is an incredible emotional journey. It's really broken into three parts: a gallery series, a full immersion, and then an exploration of Van Gogh's mental state. And what we do in the gallery series, because Van Gogh, as you mentioned, really his work was never displayed in the public, we recreate his bedroom scene from the yellow house where he lived in Arles, France, and hang all the paintings on the walls in his bedroom, and they change and they animate. In the full immersion experience, you're completely surrounded by Van Gogh's immortal works, such as Starry Night. And in that final part of the experience, we talk about Van Gogh's mental state, where you sort of experience and empathize with the artist through his struggles as an artist, that then ends with this incredible voice actor reading a letter from Van Gogh that Van Gogh wrote to his brother Theo about how he wished that he could connect with the world in a better way. But really, what we find is that Van Gogh did connect with the world by creating these beautiful works of art that live on today.
Well, you mentioned his mental state and his struggle with his mental health. Is there sort of a message you hope to convey in tapping into that part of his life?
Well, I think with Van Gogh, one of the things that I think about as someone who has been able to work with his artworks to such a degree, I think about what tools are available today to help us understand the mental state of someone and how people can get help. And I sometimes I really wish that he had had that same access to care.
Hmm.
He might have lived much longer and created so many more incredible works. Another thing that I think is important for all of us is to say, we all have these struggles within us. How can we best address them? Because what Van Gogh did was he recognized the pain that he was feeling, And he said, what I'm going to do instead of acting out on this pain is I'm going to channel it into beautiful works of art, which is, again, what we now have to remember him by.
What do you hope visitors as a whole will take away from this experience?
Well, we really hope that guests come away with a deeper understanding of the artist himself, an appreciation of his artwork, of art in general, and find that inner artist within them. There's actually a few areas in the experience where you can create your own artworks, and we find that that's a very satisfying and a great finale for guests, where they can actually channel their own inner artist, having witnessed the incredible art of Van Gogh himself.
Do you hope that people who perhaps don't know a lot about art, that this is a way for them to sort of tap into the art world, to art pieces that they may not be familiar with at all?
So we do find a lot of people who say, I would never go to a museum. I wasn't really interested in art, but somehow this experience really called to me, and it draws people to the experience from all walks of life, from all levels of education. And what we do find is that people do then want to dive deeper into Van Gogh's artworks. They'll start to frequent their museums, uh, and just explore art in a more in-depth way. We actually also have a few opportunities in the experience where you can learn how to paint like Van Gogh, so you can mimic his style with an art instructor. And there's also an incredible yoga experience that we feature in the immersive gallery, where you're actually surrounded in Van Gogh's artworks while doing yoga, which is another really great way to connect with the art in a very different way.
And for more information on Van Gogh, the immersive experience, you can head to vangoghexpo.com. Mr. Zaller, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sandra. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you, from news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.